Peggy Scott, Denée Benton, has plenty of pluck, but that doesn't mean she's prepared to face the horrors of the Deep South in the 19th century. Despite her mother's warning that life below the Mason-Dixon line is very different for Black people, Peggy goes to the Tuskegee Institute brimming with hope and promise. But her trip to Alabama ends on a much different note when a group of white men come into a Black restaurant and stir up trouble with the proprietor. Thomas Fortune, Sullivan Jones, intervenes, forcefully shoving the racist man to the ground. The act leaves Peggy and Fortune running for their lives. While hiding out from the angry lynch mob, Peggy and Fortune wait in terror, hoping to escape. When the coast is clear, the two talk about their admiration for each other's outspokenness, leading to a long-awaited, passionate kiss between them. But Fortune is married and Peggy is still mourning the loss of her son. So where might this go from here? We called up Benton to talk about Peggy's journey down south, the potent cocktail of her bravery and naivete, and whether or not this romance might be doomed to fail before it even truly begins. Denée Benton. The thing about trauma is nothing can really prepare you for it. I think about my ancestors, who grew up in those circumstances, and what's expected of your nervous system is truly insane, to live a life full of hypervigilance. No one can really be prepared to face true abuse. Watching her and Fortune, who lived and was enslaved in that region, still feel the utter shock and disgrace of what those types of actions bring, it's chilling. Thomas declares her fearless, and that's fair to say. She's obviously already been through a lot in her life, but may she also be a little naive? Oh, 100%. That's the perfect combo for a young spirit that's taking on something that is much bigger than you. You need a little bit of both. I still don't think Peggy regrets going, even in the midst of what she found. I feel like she feels a responsibility to use what little privilege she does have, and what small proximity to power she does have to shine a light on the terrorism that her people were surviving. There were two lines that really resonate. One is the racist county supervisor saying, "You think things are different now, but they really ain't." And then later when Peggy asks, "Will things ever change?" Sadly, both of those statements still ring true. Would you agree? Oh yeah. We're reminded constantly how true that both slash and is, how much things are changing and how much there are systems and energies that feel really intent on keeping circumstances fixed in place. It's such a heart-fracturing intention to hold, but we're all doing it. In June, on the Tony Awards, you called Ron DeSantis a grand wizard. Do you see a through line between that and playing a character like Peggy? Oh, absolutely. Me and Peggy's souls were so supposed to meet. We both inspire and stress our parents out equally. We're exactly who they raised us to be, and they want us safe, which no one can really blame a parent for that. But yeah, me and Peggy are definitely simpatico. Peggy and Fortune run away. But how badly or differently could this have gone? We all know they're what would become the KKK, these white terrorist vigilante groups. They had death and blood on their minds. And so, that's exactly what was to come. One wrong move, and it would have been a very different episode. It's how that turned out for many people that we come from. It's a really important dynamic to honor and tell truthfully. That's what Dorothy was saying. We see it every day with Emmett Till, with police brutality. One wrong move, and it's the difference between you coming home and being planned a funeral. What's horrific about lynchings is so many of those bodies were never recovered. Equal Justice Initiative has the first lynching memorial in the United States in Montgomery, Alabama, where you can go, and you can find the map of the United States and find unmarked ancestors. They have jars of dirt and names to honor all of those lives that were taken disrespectfully. I don't think people understand how living all this history is. History doesn't hold enough nuance. It displays a distance that doesn't truly exist. Yes, in regards to that, even Fortune telling Peggy that the last time he was in the South he was enslaved shocks her. Does that speak to this sense of feeling like history is far away? I don't know how much Peggy feels like it's far away because her father was also enslaved, but I do think you're never really ready to face that someone that you hold with so much love and respect had to survive that kind of atrocity. I don't know that you could ever really hear that and not take in a sharp breath of shock. It's what that requires.